ETH paints.
Hey folks, welcome to another 3D printing Patreon preview. I have 172 campaigns to share with you, with 5 of them having 2 entries. Also, I'd like to tell you about Tordominis. They make small-scale armies with 2 already complete and others still in progress. The Skull God army of demons is their most recently completed, and like all their stuff, you can pick it up on My Mini Factory. On Patreon, they have begun work on a second demon army, Demons of Excess, though they might still be releasing units for other armies, I'm not sure. If you join my Patreon this month, you can get access to most of their previous completed army, the Eternal Pharaohs. The basic army deal includes skeleton infantry, cavalry, chariots, beasts, and mages. These videos take a lot of work, and I really appreciate Tordominis for their support in keeping the channel going. Links to their campaigns and my own in the description. Quick content warning: some of these campaigns contain pinup style models. Link in the description to a video discussing why that needs a content warning. Arj Kolobas has a Pyramid Head bonus model this month. Ogoreg Miniatures describes this as an academic bust. This Aub from Maps and Monsters is a free download. Here are some work-in-progress minis for April from Epic Adventure Miniatures, as well as statues of David and Goliath. This is L from Ernest Nemirovsky. Here is a Demon Huntress from Sculptuner. Blazcool is back with new figures and busts of orcs and a wraith. From Arcanum Workshop, here is the Dark Rider, to go with the Black Lord I mentioned last vid. Kraken's Vault has an Oni and Shinobi set with statues, busts, and minis. This is Bastet from Bella Noct Miniatures. Here's the latest release from Doses 3D, including the Punisher and others with busts and statues. Ritual Casting has first previews up for Inquisitor Anya Jaeger. Mindoriel's Awakening from DM Stash includes 12 deities of varying alignment in 32 and 75mm. New figures from Fotis Mint include Teriel and the Comedian from Watchmen. Ronin Arts Workshop has 2 new goblins for April, with fantasy and football versions, and more. Here's the second half of the Chaos Pact fantasy football team from Mythbowl RN Studio. Here's the latest set of anime adventurers from Ethan Savage Studios. My Pokeprints has 4 new sets of Easter egg Pokeballs. Some even have cute little Pokemans inside them. New models from channel patron Nom Nom Figures include this Vi diorama and Shaltier from Overlord. These are Space Rabbits from Crosslances. From Village's Hope Miniatures, these are the first 4 rune holders from the game Elden Ring. Here is the monthly family photo from Capsule Chibi. .3DXM has a new Wolverine model standing over a downed Hulk. New models from Chibi STL include Stan Lee, Sonic the Hedgehog, and Lobo. Here are the completed models of The Pit and Xanatos to finish up the April set from Prey Collection Studios. The first April loot crate from channel patron C27 Minis and Terrain includes 3 new characters and a bit of circus terrain. Gangfight Games has a new female ranger for April. .3DP Miniatures has 4 new citizens for your modern city dioramas. Combat Octopus has a set of African militant reinforcements this month. Vault Z has Survivor Pack 18, as well as Agent Lilith. Maddox has new models from the American War of Independence, 7 Years' War, and the French Indian War. For historical figures, Medbury Miniatures has Saxons and English from the 100 Years' War. Knucklebones has a new Trench Raider, Trader Guard Officer, and Bruno, the Village Champion. Channel patron Tordominis is moving on to the God of Excess with Demonettes, a Demon Prince, and some Demon Swarms. Red Nebular has small-scale fantasy and sci-fi orcs, and regular-scale space elf street punks. Varus Miniatures has new Swan Knights and Pestilence tree terrain. Wake's Emporium has a full army of small-scale beastkin, as well as a peek at their new Grimdark Conquistadors. Here's some work-in-progress minis and terrain from August McDaniel. These are houses, a theater, and other scenery from 3D Hex's most recent City of Life release. This medieval kitchen set from Tiny Furniture Digital is almost complete. Sarli Factory has a set of desert buildings and mountainous terrain. The Broken Chip Bar from Print Minis includes all the terrain and shady customers needed to have a full campaign. Barrenfall is the newest set of ruins from Dark Realms. Masterwork Tools has new rough stone dungeon tiles, as well as some LED torches for similar dungeon tiles. Madram Designs is working on Angry Frontier Farmers this month. These are the Iron Rot Brigade from 3D Print Cleric. Reconade has a large collection of Legion-themed alternatives for your Space Marines. The Portal of Morrow has been working on this Demon Spawn model. Channel patron The Hive has sets of Warrior Droids and Echo Droids. These are Cobra Geists from Star Pharaoh Foundry. Wild Mesh has several turrets and add-ons for tanks and other vehicles. This is the Boltagon Singularity, fully charged and ready to fight organic oppression from Battle Yak Miniatures. Creature Armory is working on Marines this month. Fantasy Cult Miniatures have added Swarm Mines and Infestors to their army of alien bugs. The latest model from channel patron The Dork Factory is the Birthing Behemoth, and you can also get their House Guard Squad and Blademaster Demons. Imperatum Art has the Scorched Earth Squad and the Sky Hunter. These Rifle Lads are the first April release from Mr. Modular. New characters and some nice bits from House Bartef this month, as well as a full armory on wheels, a collaboration with Tesseract Toon. Here's the first Biker Boy preview from Blue Sky Minis for April. It looks like the Battle Nun Walker that Rage's Creations has been working on is officially titled the Paragon 1. Black Crag Miniatures is working on Orc Sergeants with heavy weapons. Edge Miniatures has 5 spaceships in 2 scales, 3 fighters and 2 bombers, and some other treats to go with them. In an interesting twist, Gear Guts Mech Shop is now making models of Humies. These are the Iron Crusaders. The latest models from Station Forge are these modular Scavenger Scouts, a work-in-progress tank, and Colonel McHale. New squads from Atlan Forge includes the Hades Burning Legion and Templar Crusaders. These are the Unity Guard and Honor Guard, as well as some Assault Mechs from Anvil Digital Forge. The sci-fi set from Gamek includes both Orcs and Humies with their Firstborn Spetsnaz. For sci-fi content, One Page Rules has another wave of their Eternal Dynasty army, as well as some Battlefleet ships and a Mecha Dragon. This is the Garmer Mark II mech from DeJong Lewis Advanced Weapons. Here is the April set of Heavy Mechs, tanks and mega flyers from the Lilalian Industrial Complex. This is the Dragon 1N Mech for Battletech from Matt Mason. Free download. Unit 9 has some new Special Response Team mechs and 7 members of the Los Malos cartel. Print, Paint, and Play has several different species of aliens, some of them looking a little less friendly than others. This is the final set of War of Ashes minis on Patreon from Zombie Smith Miniatures. From Imitation of Life Miniatures, these are big, crusty mutants and a killer rockworm. Here are the completed Iranian Army and M113 tanks that I showed you a preview of last video. Big Mr. Tong has new Daleks this month, as well as some apes with SMGs. Channel patron Papsicles Miniatures often shares community remixes of their models, like this Apex Skull Hunter model. Here are the finished alien creatures from Faux Figures, complete with little Nexu kitties. Channel patron Lost Heresy has a new Mandrake Storm Droid set to go with the Station Droids and Serfs I showed you last video. Studio DR is working on old Light Troopers and a great big flyer. Hokusa 3D Designs has a set of Desert Troopers and a one-eyed commander to go with them. Niverdale Tabletop has a Clone Commander and Upgrade Pack 2. The latest model from Maddox is this Enforcer Lieutenant with a jump pack. Squamos Miniatures has a set of Sky City Administrators, as well as a set of interior wall tiles. Black Remnant has a good selection of characters this month, including Admiral Akbar, Sebulba, Watto, and a bunch more. Golden Dragon Games is adding an M82A1 Kodiak to the armory of their Concordian Starborn. Valkyrie's Playground has a battle tank and attack ships this month. This Sparrow dropship is the first April release from Extra Guy, with a heavy tracked mech coming soon. Here is the finished fighter craft from 2 Gargoyles Studio. Tesseract Tomb has a Trucks of the Wasteland set with many different variations on the theme. For April, Polygrim is working on a set of Bards and Others that have optional Fox features. Here is a Bunny Hero from Celia Miniatures. This is Mawar, a Squirrel Folk Witch Doctor from Naga Minis, as well as a Rust Monster, Plant Monster, Bunny Folk Bard, and more. Hedgelords are the April release from Goonmaster Games with spears, maces, crossbows, Corgi Cavalry, and more. An Owlkin Chef and a Shroomberry were all epics and stuffs needed to finish off their most recent release. Here is a finished set of Loxodons from Manuel Boria, as well as a couple work-in-progress Lionfolk. Enter the Drains is the new sewer set from Cast and Play, with terrain tiles, bits, bases, and a whole bunch of ratfolk. Iconic Minis has a free Battleforged construct this month. This character is the latest release from the Nalon Realm. Free models from B-Team Minis this month include a couple Adventurers and a couple Monsters. Your Neighbor Knight Minis has a collection of Knights and Bandits this month. This is Nova, the Battle Mage from Clay Demon Miniatures. Lion Tower Miniatures is working on the Low Lantern Tavern this month. Here is a Plague Doctor and Stone or Crystal Rune Golem from Heroes and Beasts Miniatures. Print and Paint Miniatures has a Bardic Journey for you this month. Here is the April set of Skellies and Adventurers from Galad Miniatures, as well as a peek at future minis. The Elves from the Highlands by Flesh of Gods Miniatures includes heroes, monsters, villains, scenery, and more. From Signum Workshop for April, here is a preview of the female orcs, robbers, and mimics they're working on. New models from Bright Minis include a Goblin, Jester, Halfling Farmer, Elf Knight, and a Sahagin with a net. Monstrous Encounters has a new Grail Knight and 4 new Goblins. Here is the completed set of Monster Girls from Twin Goddess Miniatures. Davale Games has previews up of Wood Elf and Snake Warrior Archers. The Sentinels on the Eastern Peaks from Daybreak Miniatures are a tribe of barbarians protecting the lowlands from orc incursions. Here are the first previews of the Knights of Ecus coming from 3D Art Digital. Here's the completed Woodland Defender set from Mia K, as well as a Sun Goddess for Model Monday. The first Fantasy Mini this month from C27 Minis and Terrain is this Necromancer model. This Wizard and Paladin are the first 2 halflings from Bite the Bullet's April release. Highlands Miniatures has a couple apprentices and their instruments, as well as battle mages and the High Wizard for their School of Magic release. MZ4250 has new Dragonborn champions, egg hunters, patron requests, and some pretty epic dragons and monsters. For April, JG Sculpt has modeled 4 demons. Goblin Art Studio has a Goblin Village this month. This Crocodile is the April release from Iliad 3D. Two Moronic Miniatures has a set of dragons and other forest creatures in their Into the Woods set. This is the Cooker from Stand Art Painting. Recent releases from Lost Hobbyist Miniatures include modular undead sea monsters and a fantasy football team. Awkward Penguin Minis has an Air Genasi and a Lizard Folk this month. Stormcrow has an Invisible Stalker, and Zedru the Great-Hearted. The April release from Realm of Paths is titled Dark Robes Rampage. Dusk Realm Miniatures is working on some flying gremlins this month. The Surreal Factory has 3 new monsters for their Guardians of the Cursed Gate set. WTH Studios has a Rock for their first April mini. Tarnished Ring is the April release from Grinning God. La Louve 3D has 4 new creatures that are all taxonomically similar to horses. Reiko Vendetta Estudio has a new set of goblins to go with all the April content I've already shared, as well as some upcoming undead models. "3DS of Sam" has 2 new Ghostlings added to the one I showed you last week. Spirit of the Undergrowth is the April release from Spirit of Resin. Ratman Forge has a Cult of Death and their Chief Priestess. Printed Encounter has several sets of Fishmen this month. This is a Sea Giant from RG Sculpt. The Blue Expanse, Cult of Aboleth, is the April release of Deep Sea Creatures from Nova Minis. These cultists and creatures are the latest release from Dragon Workshop. Here is the completed Denizens of Roulier set from Void Realm Minis, with many monstrosities of the deep. The Elemental Planes Part 2 from Warp Miniatures includes fire and water elementals of several sizes each. Print Your Monsters next set is titled Total Worms. The Sprawl from Mammoth Factory contains packs of ferocious beasts, woodland deities, and the shadowy Obsidian Knight. The April release from Rocket Pig Games is here, including an Ancient Temple Guardian, Clockwork Cadaver Collector, Deathgrin Giant, and more. This is a Dragon, the latest model from Schlossbauer. Here are previews of a key prop and a model of the old man carrying it, as well as a few forest creatures. Yasashi Kyojin Studio has this bonus Bullywug this month, as well as their completed Doppelganger models. Models from Mini Monster Mayhem's Eternal Shadow of Neverdeep include a fungal dragon, a Mind Thief dragon, and several other beaky, tentacled monstrosities. The Open Crypt from TPK Lab includes 6 adventurers against a whole bunch of skellies and other undead. The April release from Runic Collectibles is almost complete. There will also be mausoleum terrain for that paladin to hunt these undead in. The April release from Across the Realms is titled Griselda's Guide to Ghost Hunting. Grey Grimoire's April release is titled Alice in Nightmare Land. Here is a quick preview. Gomek's fantasy release includes a Hellish Coach and other undead, as well as the last of the Spartan cast. Rotten Key Miniatures has a set of 4 soldiers this month. The Kreen Shogunate Rises is the April release from Night Owl 3D. Here are the completed Order of the Shadow Knights from Blue Wyvern, as well as a look at Draconians to come. Empire Miniatures has a squad of knights and a squad of arquebusiers. Vinci Miniatures has a nice set of multi-part mounted rats this month. Lord of War Miniatures has a warband of Minotaur folk, the Mountain Walkers. Here is a High Elves Lion Chariot from Hollow Miniatures. Magori Miniatures is working on Crossbowmen this month. Two Gargoyle Studio has a set of Eastern Mercenaries in their new fantasy line. Here are more characters from Elden Ring by Realstone. Warblade Studio has a set of Barbarian Warriors this month. Saurian Ancients is the April set from Dragon's Lake Miniatures. Ilhadiel has 2 new Shaman for their Bork army. This is the first of the levies from Raven Twin Miniatures' April release. Here are the completed Fallen Beast army from Clay Beast Creations. These are the Northern Guard from Titan Troll Miniatures. In Fantasy, Medbury Miniatures have a warband of dwarves, including archers, commanders, a champion, and a scorpion bolt thrower. Vivictus Miniatures has a new set of seated town guard to spice up your tavern scenes, as well as some fighting variants and more. Last Sword Miniatures has new Children of Ashes Knights, more cannons and cannoneers, a Saurian, and an elf on a dragon, as well as a peek at what's coming in May. Dinotopia from Lord of the Print includes an army of Kenku and their dino mounts. One Page Rules has more Saurians, terrain, and accessories. That's all for now. Huge thanks to all my patrons on Patreon. Your support really means a lot to me. Check back soon for another Kickstarter countdown. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the videos, and thanks for watching.